My BF, 29M, is going to propose. But I, 29F, do not feel loved anymore and am questioning the relationship. My BF and I have been together for a very long time. We dated from the time we're 16 to 22. We then broke up for a while but got back together when we were 25. We are both 29 now. We live together and I know he's going to ask me to marry him soon, so I want to get my feelings in order before anything happens. I love him, I really do, but I feel sorta unloved. I know once couples become comfortable with each other and live together, the spark, or whatever dies, but I don't like feeling like this. I still make an effort. I ask him how his day went. I'm affectionate, I put out, so to speak. A thing that really bothers me is when I say something, a lot of the time, he ignores me. When I bring it up, he says that he didn't hear me or that he was busy. For example, I'll say, "Did you see there's going to be a strike tomorrow?" And I won't get a reply. I'll wait 10 seconds, still no reply. Then I'll ask, "Hello? Did you hear what I said?" And he'll go, or grunt in response. He does this often, just abrupt responses after ignoring me and me having to repeat myself. I'd understand if he did this if I was talking his ear off, but I'm not even a talkative person. Yet when he talks about anything, I pay attention, respond properly, validate his opinions and reassure him when he needs me to. Affection-wise, I always give him hugs and kisses. He hardly ever does this anymore without me asking. I compliment him and tell him that he looks handsome. He hasn't complimented me in any shape or form in probably over a year now that I think about it. I still look the same looks-wise. I haven't gained weight or anything, not that that's a reason to stop loving someone, but you know how some people are, so I don't know what changed. Have things just become stale? Is this what inevitably happens? This whole situation has been troubling me for a while, but I'm not sure what to do. Our anniversary is in 2 months' time and his sister accidentally let it slip that he's going to propose. If it weren't for that, I'd think that we've been together for too long and he's now sick of me. I tried talking to a few of my friends who are already married and all I got were varied versions of, "That's how men are." He wasn't like this before. He would pay attention to me, talk to me, and overall I just felt more liked, you know? Now it just kind of feels one-sided. The one time I attempted to kind of bring it up, I opened with, "Do you still like me?" Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it, and he replied with, "If I didn't like you, why would I be here?" I could tell it was going to end up in an argument, so I just let it go after that. How do I handle this situation? I want to bring it up with him, but I don't know how to do it. I guess I'm not really good at articulating how I feel. Or should I not say anything because this is just the way relationships go? Please advise me because I'm a little lost. TLDR. My BF and I have dated for over 10 years altogether. He is going to propose soon, but I'm not completely happy as I feel unloved. He's somewhat abrupt and not affectionate anymore, and it's making me question whether things aren't ideal or whether it's a normal aging relationship.
That isn't just how men are. Anyone feeding you that is projecting their own unhappy relationship. You need to have a real conversation with him about this. Don't go from a "do you like me" standpoint. In his own way, he does, so he is going to get defensive and dismissive about it. Address it from "this is what I need out of this relationship that I am currently feeling is missing," and go from there. Make sure to address or before he proposes to you, because you want to make sure you know whether you are a yes or no before then.
Please don't stay if you're feeling unloved. I know 10 years seems too difficult to throw away, but what's that to a whole lifetime where you could find someone else who makes you truly happy? It's now or never, and I don't think you should settle. You deserve to feel loved. Good luck and all the best to you.
That isn't how men are. It's how this man, you don't tell him how you're feeling. He can't know and work with you to fix it. Maybe he's a person who wants to live on autopilot, and that doesn't sound like a person you want to tether yourself in marriage. You can't know if you don't talk.
Exactly. A lot of men are loving and would schedule a time to sit down and talk. That way everyone is calm. You can express to him that you know that he loves you, but you haven't been feeling it. Sometimes people's love languages are not in sync. I would point out things that he does to show you love that you appreciate. You want to embed the criticism in a compliment sandwich, which everyone finds more palatable. Then I would say, "My love language is more words of affection," or whatever it is, and ask for what your reinforcement is really effective op. So when he does express affection to you, make sure to say that it made you feel really good and you liked it. Behavior that is reinforced is strengthened.
When my husband and I were first together, he was fairly quiet and not very responsive to questions. Then we got married and he became even worse. Like your experience, most of the time I was just ignored when I spoke, and in 10 years of marriage he probably asked me 1 or 2 questions about myself. It doesn't get better, it gets worse. I don't think it's about love, but interest in your spouse as a human being.
No. First. This is not just how men are. This is how some people, both men and women, choose to live their life with their partner, and it is just sad. I feel sad for your friends who have this life and think it's the way life with a partner is meant to be. Second, why would you want this life? Why would you want to spend the next 70 years, or whatever, yoked to someone who doesn't care about giving you the smallest crumb of affection or attention? Third, if I were you, I wouldn't even try to bring this up with him. I would take some time for myself, go for a weekend trip to visit a family member far away, alone, and take myself out on some single dates. Think about myself, my self-esteem, what do I gain from this person in my life? I'd probably decide that I gain very little when it comes down to it. I would find an apartment and tell him I'm moving out. I would leave. If he is at all curious about why, I would sit down with him 30 days later and explain.
Greater than the one time I attempted to kinda bring it up, I opened with, "Do you still like me?" Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it, and he replied with, "If I didn't like you, why would I be here?" I am absolutely baffled as to why he responded with that instead of asking you to tell him about the times when you feel disliked. Is he not curious? At the very least? It sounds like he's on autopilot. And I think that, at minimum, you need to explicitly tell him that you don't feel comfortable getting engaged right now, so if he has any plans, please suspend them until you can have some real conversations about this.
What you're doing is called a bid for attention, bid for connection, and how partners respond to those bids from their spouse is the #1 predictor of future happiness or future divorce. Happy couples respond positively to bids for connection and turn toward each other, even after a lot of time has passed in the relationship. Couples that are headed for divorce turn away from those bids, and your BF is turning away hard. You know what to do.
Hun, the fact that you don't even feel safe to express how he makes you feel is another sign. Are you really willing to put up with this?
Greater than the one time I attempted to kinda bring it up. I opened with, "Do you still like me?" Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it. And he replied with, "If I didn't like you, why would I be here?" Someone who's not a huge would respond by exploring where that feeling comes from and taking actions to fix it. It's okay to dump people who are huge holes. Sounds like your friends just have low standards? You don't have to be like them. Now's your chance. My husband is the light of my life. I know he feels the same. We've been married years, together 11. We are close, affectionate, loving, and listen to each other. We are best friends and in a romantic settle. I promise there's someone out there for you. There's an old but very true saying that goes, familiarity breeds contempt. He's got used to having you around and he doesn't feel that he has to impress you anymore. A come to Jesus talk is needed here, and he may see the error of his ways. If he's not capable of changing, then you have some hard decisions ahead of you.
You can't have an honest conversation about this without it turning into an argument. Location flag. Am I correct in guessing that this is a pattern, and whenever he doesn't want to discuss something difficult, you know it'll turn into an argument, so you just drop it? If so, location flag. My partner just proposed to me less than a week ago, and I can promise you that your friends are just in unfulfilling relationships. I call my Finnesh a literal angel every chance I get, because he is. Your dude feels comfortable and doesn't feel the need to put in any effort anymore. Could be because he's just going through the motions and he isn't really that into the relationship anymore. Could be because he doesn't feel like once you get to a certain point in a relationship, effort flies out the window. Neither scenario is good or how things should be. I think it's worth trying to speak with him again about it, but definitely don't commit to marrying this dude before you have an honest conversation.
Whenever I try to talk about feelings or things we need to work on in our relationship, no matter how carefully I choose my words, he will take it as an attack and turn it into an argument or just shut down completely and refuse to talk. Congratulations on your proposal. I think my situation definitely is a no more effort sort of thing. I know I have to talk to him now. I guess I'm just scared and nervous about That's the perfect way to put it. Interest in me as a human being. I don't feel like that's asking for much.
My ex, who I did become engaged to, was like this. Just completely uninterested in me, unaffectionate and not plugged into what was happening in my life. Some men are like this, but not you, and that's current partner. It's like chalk and cheese. I got all the things I was told I was asking too much for. Before, we will snuggle and cuddle all night, hold hands while watching TV, cook together and chat and laugh and be silly. But that's the thing. They always do start out attentive and affectionate and are either pretending to be interested or actually are. Otherwise we wouldn't be with them. But, lots of men don't keep up the energy and just expect you to hang around. That you're in, you won't be leaving. May sound bleak, but we have the ability to love so many people in our lives. Some are here for a reason, a season or a lifetime, and we have to really look at our relationships sometimes.
This, from Dr. John Gottman. Backhand index pointing up light skin tone when a partner doesn't respond to bids. Relationships are doomed. Gottman has conducted studies on it. And it makes sense. When you love someone, not just romantically, which is a hormone cocktail, you care about them as people and make efforts to show them, even unconsciously. You show compassion towards them. You are interested in them and together, you grow. You become witnesses to each other's lives and betterment, both as individuals and as a couple.
So I used to date a guy like this. Literally could not have a healthy, but difficult conversation with him about anything. He was very emotionally manipulative and would shut down and not speak with me for days. I was always walking on eggshells so that he wouldn't get defensive. He's an ex for a. You can do a lot better than this dude. He's 30 years old. Part of life is working through difficulties. He should see you as a partner and teammate. He should want to make you happy and work on making improvements to your relationship, not automatically view your valid concerns as an attack. His poor communication will leave you feeling resentful and exhausted, since your life will be spent safeguarding his fragile feelings all the time while he never takes your feelings into. Definitely don't think you should accept his proposal. Unless he's willing to do some serious and hard work on himself, he's too immature and emotionally stunted to build a happy and healthy relationship with. You deserve to feel loved, you deserve effort, you deserve healthy communication. He's giving you none of to say that I want to acknowledge your anxieties around having this difficult conversation. That's so real and anyone would feel the same in your shoes. But you gotta be brave here. Yes, the outcome may lead to the end of your relationship, but as I said earlier, if this man doesn't choose to hear your concerns, take him seriously, and work on his emotional growth. He doesn't deserve you anyway.